All right.
Hi, all. This is Dr. J streaming live from Long Island, New York with Spike
With
alongside
Spike.
my sidekick, Spike.
Your
How you
side
doing,
Spike.
Spike?
I'm doing well. Your side Spike.
How was the weather in Long Island today, Spike?
Today was actually, I liked it today. It was a little, I mean, it was a little on the nippy side. The wind from the wind from those old storms was still kicking around, but I liked it.
The
Makes me
morning
know
was
that fall's
very
back.
nice. I took a mile walk. Too cold in New York, says Greg. Well, for this time of year, Greg, what do
Nah,
you really expect, right?
yeah. Well, where are you? Way up north?
No, he's in Long Island.
Oh, he's on Long Island. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, Greg. Yeah, of course, Greg.
yeah.
Well, yeah, it is. It's too cold for July, but not too cold for October.
You see, Greg is a typical Met fan. I would say 90% of all Met fans are Yankee haters. At least
Yeah.
80%.
Well, me, I'm not
Greg
a
says
Yankee hater. I'm a Yankee fan
Albertson,
hater.
Albertson, Long Island, that's the middle island.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not
of
too
course.
north, it's not too south.
No, I like it over there.
Yeah, it's nice there. So anyway, most
No,
Met
but my
fans are
problem is
not
not the
Yankee
Yankees. I like the
lovers.
Yankees. My problem is Yankee fans, and I know that's an issue.
His half brother's late mother dated Joe Pepitone, the first baseman for
Wow,
the Yankees. Do you recall him?
Joe Pepitone. Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah.
was great.
A slight bit. I mean, not to date myself, but it is a slight bit before my time.
You got to talk into that mic.
Okay, I mean, let's put it this way: not to date you, but it's a little bit before my time.
All right. It's okay. Nothing is before my time. Babe Ruth, maybe.
Yeah, right.
And
Right.
Greg's father worked for a newspaper company where his boss was
Oh,
friends with Lou Pinella. Lou, remember?
yeah. No,
Do you
Lou,
remember
now Lou was my time.
they didn't go boo, they said
They said Lou.
Lou. You don't
Lou,
remember that?
Lou. Yes, I did. Not saying boo, they're saying Lou.
All
Yes,
right.
outfielder. I was very satisfied when he was on the Yankees.
Well, Greg, you got your wish. Houston went up 3 games to 1. And tonight is the first night of the Yankee great comeback. They will win, beating Verlander 2-1.
They're up against Verlander today. Wow,
Verlander, Paxton will pitch the game of his life.
that is a challenge.
The
I am actually looking
lefty
forward to
will
watching that
come
game.
through at Yankee Stadium. You know, it's an advantage to be lefty on Yankee Stadium because of the short right field porch.
Uh huh. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I mean, I like Paxton. He was pitching really well. Aaron Boone pulled him too quick in the last playoff game, also against Verlander.
Uh
I
huh.
think he pulled him in the third inning. Lou was a good guy. I think he seemed like a really nice guy, Lou, and I think the players respected him. Tough guy, though. Very tough guy, Lou Piniella.
Yeah. Who did he manage again? He was actually managed a couple
Yankees,
teams.
Yankees, and
He managed the Yankees a while ago. That's right.
I don't know.
It's somebody on the West Coast, I think.
Cincinnati.
Ah.
Cincinnati.
Oh, and then Cannabis guys here
Yeah, cabinet guy, Green Mountain, both Sox
from the
fan in the
Green
house.
Mountains.
You know, if you're a Boston fan, it's tough because you got Tampa Bay that's emerging, and you got the Yankees that are like a dynasty in front of you. Very tough sledding for Boston to get back in it next year.
Well, there'll be some solace on Monday when they play the Jets.
Well,
When the
I don't know.
Patriots play the Jets.
Are you a New England fan?
Cabinet guy. Yeah, he's a Bo Sox fan. I imagine he's an English and a
New England
New England fan.
Probably.
Well,
So,
he'll tell us in a minute.
whoever we root for, the problem with the playoffs is they tend to be very provincial. The main people interested in the Houston Yankee games are those who live in Houston and New York.
Well, luckily they're big markets for Major League Baseball.
I guess. But notice they don't even put them on the networks anymore. They're on channels.
yeah.
I don't go hunting for them.
Yeah, they presume everybody owns a cable box.
And not only that, they're not even on Fox 5. They're on Fox Sports 1.
Right.
You tell
Right.
me where Fox Sports 1 is. You need a magnifying glass to find it.
Right. Yeah. Right. You have to do a
KGS
web search.
rule. You're right. Cabinet Guy's right. No one's going to argue with Cabinet Guy about
Yeah. Actually, I've been keeping an eye on the odds for the Super Bowl.
and Brady.
I've been keeping an eye on the odds for who's going to win the Super Bowl, and they pretty much have the Patriots as a lock.
Well, I don't know if they're a lock.
I think right now it's 7-2 or something like, or even smaller, or even 7-5 now. The odds that they're going to win the Super Bowl.
You got a 40-year-old quarterback. Nothing's a lock.
Well, I mean, like I said, well then maybe it'd be worth betting against them because 7-2 odds aren't all that great. So, I mean, even if you win, you lose.
I'm not betting against them, and I'm not betting on them. So, it was an interesting week in stocks as well. To me, it looked like the Dow Jones was ready to break out today, and it goes down. So,
well, I mean, it was knocking on heaven's door.
Yeah. But also a lot of penny stocks and small cap biotechs started to do well, and today was just a bummer, except for a couple like PRVB, which is one that I own. It's not a penny stock; it's just an extremely low market cap stock. It's trading for $6 a share. It was $6 a share at the beginning of the day. Now it's $6.50 a share.
Well, it's almost 10%.
I picked up some more today at 6.49. Down a little on it, but I'm going to probably add more on the ascent that I expect. Also,
what was that again? PRVM?
PRVB. We're going to
PRVB.
show the chart. And RCEL is a breakout biotech. We have to look at the chart of that. It is already broken out. It pulled back a little today, and I'm waiting for a little bit more of a pullback, and I think I'm going into that one.
How did the biotechs do overall this week?
Shitty. A couple, with the exception of like a few of them. Some of the better names like Amgen held in there. I've been looking at Sage Pharmaceuticals, Therapeutics, whatever. They caught my eye.
Uh-huh.
That's doing well over the week. And not really well, but Amgen, the good ones are up there, and Tandem, the diabetic company we talked about.
That's right.
They made a resurgence from 51 to like 66, I think now.
Well, good week for them.
We have time. We'll look at that chart. We're not going to have time to look at any charts unless we get to the video charts now. So let me
let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Did you want to start with the S&P, or did you want to go straight to one of these guys? CVN.
I'll start with you want the S&P? I don't really care.
The Dow's fine with me.
Let's get to finance.yahoo.com. You can see my screen just fine?
I can see all that white. There you go.
All right. So let's start with the Dow very quickly here. The Dow is in what I call a Zoom channel. As long as it stays in that Zoom channel, I am staying long. Even though it went down 255 points today, I don't think it's out of that Zoom channel. I hope not.
Well, like I said, it's been knocking on heaven's door despite all the turmoil. I mean, if you look at the news, you would think that the Dow was going to crash or something. Between
the fundamentals
between the wars and the Democratic debates.
Yeah, there's lots of geopolitical events that have been dominating. Okay, notice this channel we've been in for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 trading days. We're still in it, even though we slid tremendously to the bottom part of the channel. I like the Dow. to make new highs here. I think it's a great opportunity to stay. If it stays in this channel another couple of weeks, it must make new highs, even if it hovers the lower end of the channel. This is such a high, such a big slope to this channel that it doesn't take long for it to make new highs. You see what I'm talking
like a good trajectory.
Now it's
unsustainable. We're not even, and actually, if you're looking at it, yeah, you're right. There might be, if you take that flat line across, that almost looks like a no-brainer. The question is, you see that that line of highs that you have. What do you think the likelihood is hitting that line of highs?
Well, you see the problem here is the wall of highs that it has to overcome here.
Yeah,
that's the problem. But if it stays in this channel, it will make new highs. And if it does make new highs, I think it runs all the way to 3,000 this time. There's no turning back this time, especially if it happens on high volume. Maybe there's some event that sparks it. I don't know. But 12 days is a long time in a high sloping channel. I mean, it is unsustainable. I'd like to see it continue for another week or two. That would be the most that I would think we're going to get out of this. I've never seen a channel this steep last more than a month.
Makes a lot of sense. I know, it's good news. That's what it would seem. And like I said, for me, it's just the fact that all of this stuff is happening despite all the turmoil. Just means that this market really wants to hit these new levels.
I think it does. I also like the Dow more than ever and the markets more than ever because many analysts have turned negative and bearish. Even chartists have their reasons to talk about the S&P collapsing down at 10, 15, 20% now. And I just don't see it. And I understand their reasoning, but I don't agree with it. So I'm very bullish to Dow. And, Kramer the other day had a chart on of the S&P where he said he's basically stealing it from a colleague of his who was very negative on the S&P, and he explained why. And it didn't hold water to me, his argument. We could look at the S&P, but I'd rather look at some of these breakout stocks.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the thing here, which is interesting, is that most of today's lows from like one or two companies. So I mean, in terms of a more broader view of the Dow, there's more good news in there, at least in the numbers, than the bad news.
And also, the Dow was down the most of all the averages, I think. I don't think the S&P and the NASDAQ and the RUT were down nearly as much percentage-wise. I could take a look. Let's go back.
Okay, just giving them more room to grow, in other words.
I'm pretty sure this was down the worst of the four. The S&P was down only 0.4%, and the NASDAQ was down 0.4%. The Russell only down 0.4. So the Dow was the worst performer, but the Qs were right behind it, also not having a good day. So let's take a look at, let's say, what do I want to look at? Let's look at Arcell, which is a breakout biotech. Here it is. Vita Medical, it's called. Don't ask me about the fundamentals because I don't want to. If you ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies.
Exactly right.
Yeah, and by the way, our opinions are strictly our own and do not constitute investment advice, right?
That is absolutely correct.
And everyone should do their own due diligence.
Right. All we're doing is providing a couple of letters for people to look up.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Things to think about.
Exactly. Actually, on that subject, while you're getting everything up, my water stocks are still they're still holding water, so to speak.
Oh yeah, the water that looks like a really strong, safe chart, safe stock to be in, even in bad times.
That's the only so far. It's the only thing I've been happy with in terms of my decision because I've been a
AWK,
contrarian.
a slow grower. Does it pay a dividend?
Which one is this?
AWK, a water
Oh,
stock.
it may very well. I don't even notice. But
What do you think of this chart? Breakout territory.
oh, look at that.
Busted the old all-time high right here
This is
on
our cell.
four. Yeah, I mean it looks tremendous. This chart. Do we get a pullback to the $8 area? Maybe.
Well,
That's
you
what
got
I'm
that.
hoping.
You got that little triangle. What do you call that triangle? That sort of indicates that within the next day or two.
A
Yeah,
bull flag.
you're gonna get some actions next week, one way or the other, huh?
This is a bull flag. We already broke out of it to the positive side.
Right.
So it could run at this point. It's past its all-time resistance, the high of 767 taken out. So there's nothing to stop this. If you could easily make 10, 11, pick a number. I don't know.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, you're right there, right on the corner. I think when you showed CVM, I think when you showed CVM last time, we had something very similar. Be interesting to see what happened
Look, we have
in the last
very
couple
low
of weeks.
volume.
Say it again.
Extremely low volume today. Better volume on the breakout day, but nothing great. Nothing tremendous in the volume. The last time we had tremendous volume was on the old high on April 8th. That was the big volume day. I'd like to see a nice big a breakout break above the high. First, I think we pull back a little more. Maybe not. Look at this candle. It tried to pull back and it couldn't. It finished okay. It had a low of 831. That was the time to have gotten in. I don't know if you're going to see.
A low right
I'm not sure you're going to see it pull back to the $8 level or not on this one.
Mm-hmm. No. That looks exciting, Jerry. I mean, Dr. J. I'm glad you're on that.
Yeah, it does look like a breakout if ever I've seen. Let's take a look at
CVM. I think.
Let's take a look at. All right, take a look at CVM and also PRVB.
Oh, right. The only reason I even wanted to look at CVM was because we were poised for some sort of action, and it would just be nice to go back and review.
It looks like I'm hoping. Not that I'm hoping. I'm thinking it's a double bottom, and it isn't going to go an inch lower than it went today. And we'll talk a little bit about the fundamentals when we get to CVM.
Right.
Because at least I know the fundamentals. I do not know the fundamentals of, except they're in the diabetes area. That's about all I know.
This is you're talking about tandem or PRVM?
PRVB.
Oh, PRVB. Sorry.
And why do I like this one? Well, we had a nice little candle today. Very nice candle, taking out in a circular sort of a circular bottom we're put in here. And the fact, I think we took out this big red candle here. The high was 672. Today's high was 678. So I'm looking to take out it'll be totally bullish if it takes out $9. That $9 area is a real resistance here. So I want to draw that in with a horizontal line. I could see a easy run to $9, and then maybe above that on this one. there's takeout rumors, there's all kinds of stuff going on. So Amgen apparently owns some of this, and they're rumored to possibly buy it. So that's one of the reasons why it might have popped today, perhaps. You hardly can see volume. My goodness.
Oh, maybe it's just been a slow week.
Wow, this thing hardly trades. What was the volume today? 391,000. That's not nothing. What was the volume when it had volume?
The volume when it was voluminous.
Yeah, it was 26 million. That's a little different. Wouldn't you say?
Well, it's funny how you're looking at that and you're seeing a pop, right? Because it looks like there's been a drift down, but you're right. It looks like it's bottoming out over here.
Yeah, I think it does bottom out very nicely. In fact, it just below the 200 also. So I like that. So here's the bottom, right around here. I drew the line in.
Right.
And we're coming off the bottom. I could see a test of this level in here. What is that high? That high is 740.
Right.
738. So I could see a test of 738, and then ultimately this $9 level. Well, actually, before the $9 level, would it hit the 50? No, the 50 is above 9.
Right.
No, that's 100. The 50 is below 9. Where's the 50? 850. So it's going to have a little resistance at the 50, maybe. The 50 had a negative cross with the 100. So that I don't love, but let's see. It's already made a big, from that point in time, it did collapse. So maybe it's done. Maybe it starts curving up. Got to watch this one. It's interesting.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to, just like the other one, we'll have to come back next week to
it's of interest. Definitely of interest. CVM is of extreme interest to me because
that one we have to look at.
I could look at this one all day long because
it's better than watching paint dry.
Yeah, much better. So here's where I think we took. I think we put in a double bottom today, and we don't see a lower low than what we had today. That's what I think. Now that's saying a lot because it didn't close much below the low on 1014, which was 781, right. Closed at 784. So I'm saying we're at bottom. The low of the day was, what was the low of the day? 782, which is actually lower than, no, this was 781. 781 to 782, we managed to close just above the other low a week ago. I say this is a double low. I just like this. I like these. I just like this area to hold. This area right in here. If it doesn't hold, we could go down to this level, which would be not nice. 718 area. So that's what I would expect if it doesn't hold. So, if you want to get in at this level, you don't have too much downside, I don't think, especially with the monitoring committee met on Tuesday and said, continue the trial until we get the requisite number of events, meaning what? Deaths. And we don't have the 298 events. I don't know how long it's going to take to get it. And then you have time to analyze it and so on. So until you until the data readout could be 3, 4, 5 months from here,
Mm-hmm.
and we're only in October, so November, December, January, February, March. In the meanwhile, shorts can try to feed, right? If
Right.
if there's not likely to be news till at least January, what's to stop short attacks? Nothing. They're not afraid of the data coming out, so
Right. Exactly. 'Cause it's not.
the shorts can play, but the problem is a lot of institutions and investors with their eye on this one. So every time there's a drop, they're going to come in and snatch it up. So I don't see it dropping too much. It's a good tug of war between the shorts and the longs. I don't see it dropping much. I don't see it making a new high either. It looks like this high will probably hold until data
You
at
mean
this
the
point.
high of 8.5?
993.
Oh, the big high. 993
993.
high.
Yeah, the 927 high, I think is good until data. I
Right.
also think that the lowest we're going to get is $7. So I see a $7 to $10 trading range. It's a big trading range,
Right.
and that's great for the traders.
Especially since it's such
Great.
a cheap stock, you could actually play around with it. That's a 30.
Oh yeah,
That's a 30% spread.
yeah, definitely.
Right.
Here's the one
Somebody
that
who likes
man,
volatility like myself would actually have a field day if I was much of a gambler.
I'm going to give you a real penny stock. Hold everything. This stock is trading at a penny. That's a real penny stock.
Which one are you talking about?
The one coming up on the
Oh, okay.
right now.
Do they even trade
American
those?
Premium.
Do they even trade those, or do you have to go to pink sheets for those?
I think Ameritrade and others will accept it.
So, what are you thinking?
It's
American premium. What is that?
water.
Well, oh,
Now
wow.
they have
Hey, you got my favorite word.
They have proprietary way of putting CBD into soft drinks, nanotechnology. I don't know
Premium
what they're
water,
doing.
not drinking
Canada,
water.
yeah, whatever. Spike the drinking water.
They spike. Yeah, they spike the water.
Spike the water. They don't call you spike for nothing. Spike it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so here, look at the move this sucker made today.
Yeah, look at this. I know. It looks like it's coming off the bottom, and it might have a nice little float back.
A tremendous move today. And where was the low that it put in? Right about here. It doesn't even give you the trading range because it doesn't give you below a penny there, this chart.
Right.
So it's hard to say. I think it was as low as 30 pennies, 40 pennies.
And there's a lot of, all of a sudden, there's a little bit of interest in terms of the volume.
So once it's above a penny, I think it's kind of like a stock that goes above $10. A penny stock above a penny gets to be of interest, especially when you have this big green bar. So this might have a nice run in it. Who knows how high they can run once they start? Pennies are funny. Look at the 924 high on this one. I can't tell what it is. It's under 2 pennies. What about this high? Let's go all the way up here. 3 pennies. 3 pennies is a triple last I checked. Right?
Well, it's also an opera, but now I'm dating myself.
You see this slide all the way back from what is it? Late June. It could all be erased. All of this downside could be erased in about a week or less with pennies. Just like normal stocks go down quicker than they go up, pennies just shoot, and you got to have your orders in because you can't sell it once it's shot up because everyone starts taking profits, and you put it in order, you don't get it.
Right.
That's the problem with
that's a big problem. Yeah, I mean, we were talking before about a 30% swing. Here, I mean, like, somebody just says, "Oh, I'll charge you a nickel," and all of a sudden it's like, what are you going to do? That's like usury, an 80% premium. So I
Yeah,
guess
when there's no volume,
that's one of the downsides with these cheapo stocks.
33 million shares were traded at a penny.
Hmm.
So how much is that in terms of money? 33 million at a penny.
300,000.
So that's something.
No, you can pull that right out of your
I mean,
back pocket, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, one investor could
No
invest
argument.
300. I mean, it's really not. You can probably buy the company for 300,000.
They should go on Shark Tank.
Yeah, but when you see something like this, and if you buy $1,000 worth of this, you could look for 3,000 and probably get it.
Hmm.
I hate to play around with pennies. I seldom do, and I probably won't. But this one is a little bit tempting as it breaks through the 50. Notice the 50 is trading below the 100, is trading below the 200, which is good.
Right.
Problem is the price has been below the 50, which is bad.
Right.
So maybe it's going to straighten out a little bit here and run to 3 pennies or more. Let me just see the weekly on this one. Interval, week. Oh, wow. What happened?
Yeah, you got yourself. Well, you must have extended the amount
I
of
have
time.
no idea what happened. Oh, here it is.
Right. I'm doing this
There's,
I think it's since May now.
I don't know what's going on.
You know, that's a multi-year when you do that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of if you go back before 2018, there's a lot of stair steps.
This is giving me volume only.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what
I'm looking at the prices. I mean, if you go back to the beginning.
You know what?
Of the year,
I'm not wasting any more time on this. We have more interesting ones to chart.
Yeah, you wanted to look at what, Tandem or something else?
Well, CVM and Tandem, definitely.
CVM, that's right. We haven't done that one yet.
CVM, I mean, with the committee having met during the week and recommending continuation, I think that's a positive, not a negative. And yet the stock, it rallied on that news, but gave it all back. All right, shows you the manipulation that's going on with CVM. We looked at CVM.
Yes, we did. So
what
the other one you wanted to look at was CNAB.
PRVB, yeah.
No, CNAB for one of the cannabis
ones. Right? CNAB.
All right, that was one of the cannabis ones, and we were looking at Tandem because they were doing another pharmaceutical.
This is also not quite a penny, but 38 pennies or 31 pennies or some such number. 36 pennies. I like this one. It has good fundamentals, which I could leave to you, but it does have good fundamentals for a little baby pot stock.
Now, when I see something like this, I always have to wonder what was happening early on. I mean, if we only look at the last couple of months, we get one kind of play. But when you go back in this picture, you have like 2 monumental sets of events just within the last year, right?
Oh yeah, the spikes.
Yeah, these big spikes. I mean, does this mean that we missed the boat, or does this look like where the future is going to be?
No, look at this nice bottom. It's really a nice bottom. I feel you could buy here. 31 pennies looks like a pretty good bottom here, and we're in the trading range, the bottom end of the trading range, the way I see it. So
the trading range being this little range or this big range that's a year old?
I would say from let's say from this date, whatever forward would be the trading range.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm not sure what that
All
date
right. I
that.
mean, I'm just looking for, like I said, when I see stuff like this, I'm like, well, what happened and what did I miss? That's what I
Yeah,
see when I see these pictures, and I want to get your opinion when you see something like this. You just say what the past is preface.
when I see these spikes, I say that's good because if it spiked before, it could spike again.
Uh huh.
It's got a history of these spikes. Maybe you could say it's a manipulated stock, whatever, but I think it has some decent fundamentals.
Uh huh. All right.
So if pot stocks turn around, I think this one easily goes back to this 200-day, about this high at
Right.
71 cents.
Uh
I
huh.
think you can get a double on this one with very little downside. If it breaks 30, you just sell it.
Right.
So I like this one for a trade. Double or sell it for a little loss, 10%, 20% loss. Still not nothing.
Oh, I agree with you.
You can double or lose 20%. It's something. I mean, there are many stocks of interest, but let's look at Tandem. It had a nice little run.
Yeah, Tana.
TNDM. One of the reasons it had a run probably is because the Kramer seems to have liked this one, and that gave it a shot in the arm. So the wall it's got to cross is pretty clear. It's got to get above this high here.
Right.
Let's draw that
What
in.
do you have a 2 year going on there?
Uh, I have a weekly interval. I don't want a weekly. I want a daily.
Yeah, no,
So
because I have I'm looking at the chart from a 1 year, so I'm just catching that action.
yeah,
I'm just
this
catching the
is
more
about
latest
a
action.
year. This is about a year. Let's just draw a straight line in here
Right.
on the bottom.
Well, that top looks pretty consistent also.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see the bottom here. This is our recent lows at $52. And look at this bottom. This is really not has a lot of touches. It's a nice bottom, $52. We missed that bottom. Ooh, we miss
Oh,
that
yeah.
one. That one hurts. Should have been in on this one. I bought it originally right about in here.
What, around the low 50s?
Yeah, below 52. I think 49 or something like that.
Nice.
But
Nice. That was just before a nice pop.
this one, why I didn't
Oh,
get in?
you're still skirting. It looks like, I mean, overall, it's still skirting in around 65. I mean, right now, it's getting a little
Yeah,
more volatile. Going back to those fundamentals.
today's high was 65. Yeah. I'd like to see it take out this high. Then it looks like it could go for the all-time highs. Take out 66.80. Then we're looking to take out 74.30.
Uh-huh.
This would be a very good sign if we could take this high out from 924, and it's not far away. Not far away at all. This one
No, you're right. It's
could
not.
have.
Like you said,
It
if you'd seen this about a week and a half ago.
can definitely have legs. There's one more I want to talk about. ARWR. This is a gene editing stock, with the CRISPR machine, whatever they use to do gene editing. And look at the run it's had. Straight
Arrowhead. Oh, yeah,
up.
Arrowhead. That's right. Oh, my gosh.
I bought this at $18 back around here.
Nice.
Right around here, I bought it.
Are you still in it, or did you bail early?
I still own it. I added a little on a pullback. I don't must have paid somewhere around here, $27, I think I paid for.
Nice.
So I bought it twice, 18, 27. I don't remember how much I bought at each moment, but I'm
It's still a nice. It's still a very nice ride.
Yeah, I'm making money on this one. It pulled back off the top, but it still made a distinct new high. Took out the old high of August 30th of 36.80.
And look at
So
this. These lows are very. These. I'm looking at the line of lows. Very very consistent.
yeah, we're not going to have a double top. It took out the old high, so no double top here.
Right.
And we have a nice trend line. Very nice trend line.
Like they say, where were you when I needed you?
Yeah.
That
This
is
is
pretty.
my only regret here is that I didn't buy twice as much as I bought.
Well, let me ask you a question because I always ask it. I look at the line of the highs, right? If you take that little line along the highs,
Yeah.
we're almost touching that. And my question to you is, if it was me and I was in it the 20s, I'd bail a lot of this. At least sell half of what I own. What about you? Do you just say, it's just going to keep going?
Well, sometimes they do. I can give you many examples of when I bailed on a stock like this, took my profits, and only to watch it go to 100 or a higher 200.
Oh, c'est la guerre. I don't know.
So it's tough. The toughest thing to do is to know when to sell.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. I mean, it looks like even if you take that line and increase the slope a little bit to hit the other tops, you're still getting close to that. I mean, right, that line there, if you just increase that slope a little bit.
Increase it?
Yeah, increase the slope. Yeah, there you go. Just to get closer to the other tops.
Uh-huh.
The more previous tops. That would, I guess that would be where I would bail. So, even higher than that, but not much higher than that.
Well, one of the reasons it went up is the CEO was on on CNBC and had a very nice interview yesterday, I think it was.
Uh-huh.
So that probably aided the stock, but notice it actually fell back from its close the day before.
Right. Yeah.
By the end of the day.
Yeah, so it's doing a little. It's trying to make some decisions now. Because if you go down to like a 1 month, if you just go down to a 1 month, right? Instead of a 1 year view, if you go to a 1 month view,
yeah,
then then it sort of looks like maybe it's time to bail. You see what I'm saying?
I don't know. These nice looking candles, though.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe not. Because I'm actually using a line graph at home, and that's missing a lot of the picture. Your candles are much more descriptive.
Monthly, I'm not selling this.
Yeah, I'm not telling you to sell, Dr. J. The last thing you want from me is stock advice. I don't know why any of you out there are listening.
Just saying, the monthly is not convincing me to sell.
Really interesting. Okay, good. Well, yeah, not with those candles. Like I said, I'm looking at a line graph, and the line graph is telling me slight stuff. And
I mean, even on a pullback, so what? I can afford a little pullback.
Well, yeah, you got in at a nice price.
Yeah.
Sherry Johnson's asking for a chart on ATHX.
All right, let's do it.
Yep.
ATHX. I own
and also ATNM. She's looking for both of those.
I have so much ATHX that if it doesn't do well, if it goes to like zero, I'll never have to buy toilet paper again. What is this? The 1 minute, not the 1 month?
That's funny. Yeah.
I was not in the 1 month. I was in the 1 minute.
I had you there. I had you in the 1 month for that other stuff. I think, like I said, for me, the hardest part of this game is knowing when to bail. And so, I tend to be a little bit chicken.
The hardest part of this game is knowing whether I'm in the monthly or the minute chart. That's the hardest part.
Right. For you, it's to know which button to press.
Yeah, which button to press? You know how many times I pressed the buy instead of the sell, and I wound up keeping it?
Yeah, right. It's sort of like when you go to the lottery and you ask for a number and they give you the wrong number and you don't want to give it back.
Oh yeah. Well, this happened to me not too that long ago with RMTI, a biotech that got approved by the FDA. As soon as it got approved, I knew it's going to start selling off. So I put in an order for like 3/4 of my shares to sell it. I thought to sell it, but I bought it. I said, "Ah, the hell with it," and I wound up taking it back. I shouldn't have said the hell with it. I should have just undid my mistake.
I don't. Just looking at this guy, it's not looking extremely attractive to me.
Athesis is, one of my favorites fundamentally. It's had some rough sledding of late because it's a year away from any data, and like shorts play. They love biotech to feed on. They should be called sharks, not shorts. They love feeding on biotechs. So this is a pretty strong downtrend, but we have a strong bottom as well. Let's draw that in.
It's not looking extremely sexy to me, but what do I know?
It looks what?
I said it doesn't look very sexy to me. Looks like it might be hanging around. It might be hanging around this $1.34, for a while.
The recent chart is pretty yucky, and it looked like you say a while before it gets to this. It looks like the downtrend continues, maybe to test the lows again. And if you continue this line to this date, that takes you all the way out to November 1. So you could easily see this back and forth action drifting a little lower all the way to November 1 or close to it, and then we break out
one way
to the upside I think to the upside because they tried to take it lower than this many times and have failed. So I think they failed one more time. So I think this is a good low. I think it's a fairly safe low, 129, 127, whatever. So if you want to buy below 130, by all means. I don't have much of an appetite because I own so much of it. But yeah, for somebody that wants to either add or get in, build a position, why not? I like the fundamentals. The stroke trial in Japan will come to an end, and the data will be read out within 10 months from now. Something like that.
I don't know if there's any relationship, but Sherry also asked about ATNM. She asked why you dropped it.
I dropped it because I was losing my shirt.
Is that another biotech, or is that something else?
Yeah, I was losing my shirt. That's why I dropped it. I mean, the promise is terrific for some of their pipeline, but I couldn't afford it anymore. I don't like going broke. That feeling of someone picking my pocket on a daily basis. So I had to get rid of it, and I could get back into it now. I got rid of it.
It's testing a low at 20 cents.
Yeah, it actually made 19 cents the other day. I don't even want to chart that one. It's too depressing. I mean, there's so many others that are more interesting in the biotech arena. But the interesting one the real interesting one this week was Kronos, because it had tremendous action after hours and pre-market. And I don't know if I can pick up that because I don't think this graph will show after hours or pre-market.
Right. No, yeah.
But
you have to pay big bucks for that.
Yeah, you see it pop after hours right here, and it opened much higher, and only to give back most of that gain. So it opened at 10.52. After hours, it was actually over 11. Pre-market, it was about 11. So it opened much lower than pre-market and gave back most of everything. over these 2 days. But notice it didn't make another new low today. I
Right.
think this one, I think where the smoke is fired. You know what I mean? It was an unexplained pop. You
Some
know the Jerry brothers, Dr. J and Pete.
oh yeah, right, exactly. Those guys.
Yeah, they bought the 750 calls after they
Right.
noticed unusual volume. So they're
Calls.
long the
They bought calls.
calls.
Yeah,
They're long Chronos, and that probably influenced the movement a little bit.
sure.
Then they had an IPO in Australia, Chronos Australia. That might have helped a little. Uh, and then there's always the usual takeover rumors.
Right. So yeah,
But I like Chronos regardless for the short term, the middle, intermediate term, the long term.
you think that's that it's a bounce off the bottom and it's going to sort of come back up to those other highs?
I think again. I think all of the pot stocks have bottomed, in my opinion. So
Oh, I hope
this
you're right
seven.
because I bought back into my Medved or whatever that's called. I just
Yeah, I mean I don't know that one, but
yeah.
Curaleaf is a similar name, and that one we can take a quick look at that chart.
Yeah, and then we should go watch the Yankees.
I'm very bullish on Chronos, but I'm also bullish Curaleaf and VFF, and I like the whole sector.
Uh-huh.
CGC, I still own. I've been buying back some of that. Look at this nice slope right here. This nice Curaleaf.
Oh, this is Curaleaf. Okay.
A little different than MedMen, right?
Indeed. At
And
least there's a pop back off the bottoms.
right, and there is a lot of similarity. They're in the same business. In Long Island, they're right near each other.
Right.
And I think Curaleaf is the bigger of the two. I'd rather own the bigger one than the smaller one.
Yeah, and
And also, didn't the deal fall through on MedMen?
Yes, yes, yes.
There
I'm
was some
actually
kind of deal.
what I'm actually thinking is that the ones that actually have more experience doing business in Canada are the ones that I'm happier with. Only because they've already been through they've already tested markets.
Yeah.
So
Well,
the one that I'm on is really a Canadian company.
I mean, this one certainly looks like we've reached the bottom and bounced.
Mm. Yeah,
So
I would take a wait and see on that one.
Let's stop here, and we can go on and on. There's a million stocks we could look at.
Yeah, we went a
But
little
it's
long
time.
this time. Apologies to
It's
those people
time
who are
to
missing the
say
Yankee game.
it's time to watch the Yankee game. The first pitch has been thrown out already. We went almost an hour. We went for too long. Hey, Vivek, Sherry. Oh, a lot of kibitzes tonight, huh? All right, so
Yeah,
this
we
has
already
been Dr.
covered CVM. Sorry about that, Vivek.
Streaming live from Long Island, New York. Asking you to subscribe if you haven't already. Share the link, write a comment. Show us you love one way or another. Wait a second, Rosie's here. How you doing, Rosie?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, look at that boost
Sorry
line.
we didn't see you. I haven't been on this page in a long time.
Oh, okay. No,
You been okay?
no.
So you've been listening all this time?
I have, yeah.
So what do you think? You think that we're going to get rich?
I'm crossing my fingers for you guys. It sounds like you know a lot.
How about a young woman like you? What do you think you should be investing in? Are you have any investments?
No, but I noticed that you guys mentioned a lot of penny stocks. I have heard of Timothy Sykes, he trades penny stocks and he's made millions from it, but he's also taught other people how to do it, and some of his students have become millionaires. Yeah, and all of his trades are actually verified on profit.ly, but I think that's interesting. I've watched him a couple of times, but I haven't done any sort of trading or anything like that myself.
Yeah, but you see, he's in it for profit in terms of being a tout. I don't like touts. I don't want to consider myself a tout ever. So I just discuss with Spike some of my ideas, and I don't care to have my trades verified because I don't give two red pennies whether whether people are impressed or not, whether they believe me or not. It's up to them. I don't want people to follow me, believe it or not. What do I need? What am I getting out of it?
Except on YouTube.
Except on YouTube. I'll take a photo on YouTube. But
just be consistent with what we were asking for before.
What do I buy? Amazon. That's what I buy. My favorite stock is Amazon. Period. I think it's the bellwether of all bellwethers.
I would agree with you.
It's a no-brainer.
Not that I own it.
Anytime Amazon has a dip, just buy it. You don't have to look at charts. That's in my opinion. Of course, Donald Trump doesn't like Jeff Bezos too much, and you never know. Maybe he'll buy the company. or put a huge premium on deliveries, right?
Right, exactly. No drones.
No drones, and could double and triple the postage on Amazon. So Jeff Bezos.
Time enough that Jeff Bezos.
Trouble. Or maybe not, because Trump could be in trouble. So we don't know.
Yeah, right. If I was to put money, I'd put money on Jeff Bezos.
You put your money on Bezos over Trump? In this corner,
in a horse race, yeah.
Is Jeff Bezos. In the other corner, I don't know.
Yeah, I know exactly.
The battle of the behemoths, right?
Exactly.
All right, so Rosie, I'm sorry. I apologize that we hung you up so long. So
it's no problem.
What did you do today? You had a good day?
I had a good day. Yeah, I spent most of the day in the library. I'm studying for Calc 3 and also for advanced C++ programming. I'm taking.
Okay, so you're back in school full time. You were working for a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
And what's better, being a student or working and making money, getting a paycheck?
Yeah.
It's a loaded question.
What's better, getting a paycheck or go to school?
I actually, I really like being in school. I like being in the classroom, and I think that education is, the only way up. So I'm back. I'm taking my education seriously, and I'm moving forward. Yeah.
Okay, Rosie, it's really good to see you. I hope we see you again.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Okay, not a problem.
All right. This is Dr. J, Spike, and Rosie signing off from Long Island, where we say shalom, sayonara, au revoir, arrivederci, adios amigos.
Au revoir.
Bye-bye. Till next week.